Hello, it's Jenna Art Journaling here for 2024's Advent Word series. So I am using Advent Word prompts, which you can download. I'll include a link in the description to this video. And I'm using these to inspire my art journaling in the lead up to Christmas. I do hope you will join me and play along in your own way. You don't have to work in a little handmade journal like this. You can work on tags like we did last year, or any kind of art journal or substrate that you would like to work on. And the rules are that we don't have to do them in order. We don't have to do all of them. We just show up when we can for as long as we can. And that's enough. It's just great to take a few moments to think about the real meaning of Advent, of Christmas, in the busy season. So I am actually starting with the first word on the list, which is humility. And after some thought, I thought this was a great word to start with, actually, because it invites us to think about our posture as we go into the festive season. I've decided to make a kind of landscape in my little art journal, and I'm using a mixture of collage papers and paint to build up some layers that look like hills in the background. And I've already got some trees and some kind of wintry animals. So this is a winter landscape that I'm working on here. The first thing that struck me was that I wasn't sure what humility really was. Is humility thinking badly of yourself? Is it beating yourself up and putting yourself down? That didn't seem to fit with a God who loved me so much that he gave up his life for me. I found various definitions, one of which was a willingness to see yourself truthfully and have an accurate opinion of yourself. And it says in the Bible, doesn't it? Do not consider yourself more highly than you ought, but to use sober judgment when we think of ourselves. And that seemed better, because actually a kind of false modesty or false humility doesn't help anyone, does it? It just robs people of what we actually have to offer, our God-given gifts. I think my favourite definition was recognizing our dependence on God. So even when we do see gifts in ourselves, we recognize that they come from God, and that we're dependent on God in our working them out and using them. And that to me is very closely linked to a attitude of gratitude, as we recognize that everything that we have is not because of ourselves, because of our own greatness, but everything that we have comes from God. And as we recognize our dependence on God and our lack in ourselves, our inability by ourselves to do anything. It actually says in the Bible, apart from God, we can do nothing, and certainly nothing of value. That comes back to the real heart of the gospel and the humility to accept our sinful nature, our inability to be righteous in our own strength, in our own selves, and our need for God to come and rescue us. Without that kind of humility, we are unable to come into relationship with God. And I'm just drawing some trees on the page now, some winter trees with bare branches. This is just one of my favourite motifs to draw in my art journal. And as I'm drawing it, I was thinking about the trees being naked, stripped of all their leaves, stripped of their autumn colour. And I was thinking that that was a metaphor for humility, to let go of all of the things that we hide behind and the masks that we wear, and to be seen as we really are, and to see ourselves as we really are, and to not be afraid to be seen as we really are. And that's a scary thing, really, because we might be afraid that we would be judged or rejected, but we know that we can come to God just as we are, and he will accept us because of what Jesus did on the cross. I'm drawing a ladder now on my page that goes right from the bottom of the ground all the way up into the sky. And this is inspired by a video of a lady preaching I saw recently that was talking about how all religions have a ladder, with God, a holy God at the top, and man at the bottom. And man tries to climb the ladder by doing good deeds. So, we might go to church on Sunday and that gets us to the first rung. We might help an old lady across the road and that gets us to the second rung. But then we might do something selfish and mean, and that gets us down a rung. And we're continually trying to ascend this ladder, but taking sort of 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. So we're never going to get to the top of the ladder. And the wonderful good news of Christianity is that instead of God expecting us to get to the top of the ladder, which he knows we can't, God came down the ladder to rescue us. And that is what Christmas is about, isn't it? It's about God coming to earth in the form of a baby, Jesus, and coming down the ladder on a rescue mission to rescue mankind from themselves, from their sin. And our only part in that story is to respond with humility, to respond with repentance, and to accept the amazing gift of Jesus that we celebrate at Christmas. I've decided to write out a passage I found in Philippians chapter 2 about Jesus and how he modelled humility to us. It says, Jesus, who being in the very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be used to his own advantage. Rather, he made himself nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness, which is what we celebrate, the incarnation at Christmas. And being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. And that is the ultimate example of humility that we have in Jesus. So folks, I hope you've enjoyed this first journaling page around the idea of humility. I hope you will be inspired to do some of your own journaling, maybe inspired by one of the words. You don't have to do them in the same order as me. You can choose a word that the Lord is highlighting to you today and do a page around that. I'd love to see what you create. Please do share it on my Facebook page in the comments, or try and tag me on Instagram. I'm at Jenna Art Journal, and I look forward to seeing what you get up to. I won't be posting a video every single day of Advent because that would be just madness. But if you want to know when the next video is available, then the best thing you can do is make sure you're subscribed to my channel, but also that you have hit that little bell symbol, which is the most important bit. That will guarantee that you get notified. I hope it will guarantee that you get notified next time I upload an Advent video. Okay, I'm just finishing off my page by sticking on the actual word humility from my printable sheet, which you can also download if you would like to, and I have put the link to that in the description below. Okay, so God bless. Leave me a comment if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.